We all know that the internet is developing rapidly. We all know that the internet plays a crucial and influential role in modern society. Because, let's face it, we would not be able to live without it ourselves. So, what we don't necessarily know, or what we're not necessarily aware of, are the precise changes that are taking place right this moment. So I'm here to talk to you about what internet evolution is, or what online evolution looks like now, and to tell you that we are on the brink of a new stage in online evolution. I'm not talking about new technologies, new online technologies, although they do exist and that although they are developing, but rather how existing technology is used and managed. What's happening is that businesses are finally catching up. They are evolving to incorporate the internet into their money-making strategies and business ideas. Consider, for example, YouTube, one of the most profit-focused social media networks for individual online content creators. This year, large companies started taking advantage of the popularity that some YouTube video makers, or YouTubers, have generated for themselves on the website, and the companies have begun to move traditional media such as radio and television online. So this year, BBC Radio 1 hired these two YouTubers to become the hosts of a unique radio show that uses both radio and online video. The two YouTubers brought masses of fans to the BBC website and radio station, and BBC Radio 1 benefited from the increased advertising revenue and product awareness. The power of this internet popularity was even seen by how these two YouTubers won the Sony Golden Headphones Award for DJs, even though they've only been DJs for 1 year. Other companies such as Virgin Media, Maker, and Psycho, Simon Cowell's company, Psycho, have also hired popular YouTubers to be presenters of their online shows that are much like traditional television shows, but are on YouTube rather than on the traditional plasma screen. These companies have also created networks of YouTubers that have signed contracts agreeing to share some of their ad revenue with the company in return for certain benefits. So company involvement has really increased the opportunities for the public by bringing attention and money to the online community. And so this relationship can be very beneficial for both parties. But unfortunately, it has also brought traditional commercial thinking into a once more innocent playground of ideas. As you know, I'm very interested in the arts, be it painting, design, music, or any other creative thought or practice. So the magic of the internet for me, particularly, is the freedom to create what you want, when you want, how you want. And this freedom of creativity is jeopardized by company involvement. Returning to the example of YouTube, networks and companies pressure YouTubers to make their videos more sellable. This means enforcing rules on what the content should be like. Thumbnails should be overly photoshopped and eye-catching. Videos should be created regularly to keep a loyal audience coming back. Titles need to be intriguing and should have a lot of keywords that search engines can pick up on very easily and make it easier for people to find. And this is good for ad revenue, as I said. And even though these search words and these titles may be very marginally relevant to the video itself, and the video itself should be about current events or most search topics so that more people will find and watch the video. What we end up with is a mass of unoriginal but commercially successful content that often values quantity over quality. This is essentially indirect censorship of creativity. I say indirect because, of course, networks and companies cannot force these creators to comply to their own rules. But gradually, as those that do follow the commercial rules gain success and the favor of the companies, more and more creators will follow in suit, and they will also follow these commercial rules to gain the benefits. And eventually, those that do not follow the rules will be overshadowed. Now, being overshadowed would be less of a problem if it didn't mean becoming almost completely invisible to the public. This is where the evolution of search engines comes in. Gone are the days when you could direct a friend to a website by telling them to search dog or some other search term into Google and saying to go to the 5th link, and you would find yourself on the same website. Now Google uses your search history, your browsing history, your friend's search history, your emails, your location, the model and price of your computer, and the number of times that certain links have been clicked by others to provide search results that Google thinks would interest you and are within your income bracket. This direct targeting is supposed to help you find exactly what you want, and more importantly, to help Google give you advertisements that would appeal to you, instead of showing you a meat advertisement if you're a vegetarian. So this seems like a pretty good idea until you realize that what this results in is that each of us has our own personalized search engine. And these personalized search engines show us more of what we already see and what others like to see, the top results being links that are most clicked worldwide. In other words, our information is filtered based on mass opinion and interest. So we don't see anything that is unpopular or mildly different. This is another form of indirect censorship, and it can do nothing but narrow our mindsets. It also means that whatever catches the public's attention is what is most valued, be it positive or negative attention. To put it simply, the internet and companies value sensationalism. These are screenshots from Google Trends, and they show the most searched people in each category. Notice how Miley Cyrus is approximately twice as searched as the US president. Now, why is that? Well, I'm sure many of you have already seen her VMA performance, and if you haven't, I suggest that you keep it that way. The performance was definitely sensational and produced a largely negative reaction, but it was a very huge reaction. As you can see, the public interest peaked after the VMAs. And this pushed companies, even CNN, to cash in on the interest. For instance, by making the VMA performances a CNN.com headline. So every time someone searched Miley Cyrus or the VMAs, they would be directed to CNN's link, and this would generate tons of ad revenue for CNN.com because they would get gazillions of more visits. But at what cost? By putting this sensationalist story onto the headlines, they gave less exposure to maybe more important issues, such as the crises in Syria and Egypt. So if we seek sensationalism over importance or even quality, what are we teaching younger generations and ourselves? I ask this question because the influence of pop culture and sensationalism is significant in my generation and younger generations, and this is particularly because the kids of today are more connected to pop culture icons and public figures due to community-building websites, such as Tumblr, that cultivates fandoms, and due to hashtags that bring together those that are interested in similar things. Everyone knows it's better to fangirl with others than to do it on your own, and to have a community where you can do that. To have a community strengthens the dedication that you have for the subject or this topic or whatever it is that you are obsessed about. There is also increased familiarity with public figures due to the sites on the right, these ones, because these sites give us more insight on their personal lives or their personalities, and we're given the illusion, as the public, we're given the illusion that we know these people, and we feel like we can connect with them, and this further strengthens our dedication to them as fans, viewers, or basically the general audience. So this increased dedication, thanks to the internet, makes us easy to be led or influenced via pop culture icons and figures. And when you put all of these pieces together, company involvement and commercialism, search engine optimization, and sensationalism and dedication to pop culture, the terrifying truth is that in the near future, we could easily become a flock of eager sheep led blindly by companies. Or as I described in the title of my talk, a commercial cult of the credulous. We risk losing information, choice, and values by letting others, be it companies or the public, think for us and censor us, and by letting ourselves be greatly influenced by public figures that companies essentially control. We can avoid this, however. We can drive online evolution in the direction that we want, where both companies and the public can benefit, because we are the masses that are forming this mass opinion that is driving this entire cycle. But we can only do that if we are all aware of the choices we are making and how it contributes to the role of mass opinion in the vicious cycle of online evolution and commercialism. Thank you.